So today we're going to be going over a very interesting game that immediately when I saw it, I wanted to review it. Because I kind of like seeing games where crazy trades are kind of like the main theme of the game. A lot of people are very reluctant to give up anything, especially cube players, for example. They don't really want to give up a stone, let alone maybe a group, in order to try to get something else. But this game is going to be kind of full, just absolutely full of that kind of deal. So I wanted to review it. It looks like it's going to be fun. So if you're interested in that kind of game, you should probably stick around. If you are not, then I will see you later. But that's what we're doing today. Alright. So Chen Yaoye versus Cho Chahan. Both are very strong players in their respective countries. Cho Chahan being a Korean 9-dan, Chen being a Chinese 9-dan. As usual, they do not open up anything unusual. I normally don't go over that kind of thing. Now, I think I said that I was going to go over a Lee Cheng-ho game today, but this game totally supersedes it, because it's so awesome. Alright, so right off the bat, we have nothing unusual like I mentioned. We have openings, the like of which we've seen many different times before. However, and someone mentioned this to me, like, what was it, last week? Week before last, something like that? So it kind of stuck with me. They don't play openings like this. They don't play normal openings. They don't like playing like everybody else, because they feel they just play the exact same game over and over again, which, you know, shows they don't have much in the way of creativity. But if that falls like with you, then this game is a great example of how even if you have an opening that you think you know, the game can go so different from anything else you've ever played. Alright, so we have black backing off into a little micro Chinese Fuseki, as is all the rage nowadays. It is now white's duty to try and split the right-hand side, lest the framework get entirely too large. So no surprise there. White just calmly splits. Black has to decide, which way am I going to try and pressure this? I can lean on the stone directly with a shoulder hit to try to get a very large top side. I can just extend on either side to play more territorially. It's completely up to black on how to play here. Black says, I like playing nice and calm and a bit more territory oriented, so we're taking the small knight, allowing white to get a very comfortable two-space extension, which we can then go back and shoulder hit. Okay, pretty straightforward so far. This next part is not quite so straightforward. White pushes, getting an immediate response from black, just to strengthen their stones a little bit. Just a little bit. Ever so slightly. And the idea here being, okay, we strengthened ourselves, now we can go and reduce. And this move is irritating. There's a lot of different ways that black could respond to this. Okay, I lied. There's like two. We can defend the left side, we can defend the right side. In whatever manner we see fit. That's pretty much our only two ideas here. Which one do we want to do? I think black is probably... Ideally, black would want to do neither, and push out at Q13 and maybe re-attack the capping stone, but that's a little bit unlikely. Instead, black decides to simply protect. Could protect the other way, Trouble with the other way is between this attachment and the cutting point, this usually winds up easily going into a bit of a variation that white is completely happy with. Because, I mean, how do you respond to both of those things at once? What if B11 instead of the shoulder hit? What is B11? Oh, wait. That's this one, right? Wait, I am so horrifyingly confused now. What if BQ11? Okay, I am less confused now. So Q11 is here. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Well, that's way too far away, right? There's no reason to freak out about this. This is actually an older variation that you're going for now, because now you're going to shoulder hit, right? And then you're going to go over this variation. This actually used to be a thing. This used to be an opening for the, or a follow-up when we deal with the mini Chinese. But yeah, it's playable, I suppose. I haven't seen it with the micro. I suspect maybe it's over-concentrated. Getting this kind of thing with the micro involved. But right now, I would hesitantly say it's playable. But alright. In the actual game, we're here. Black is saying all that their territory in the upper right is mine. White's trying to strengthen himself and just give him that. But Black fights back. He's not going to just casually let himself, for example, maybe be completely enclosed in this little upper right area with White getting all of the influence. He says, no, that ain't happening, try again. White saves a stone, obviously, because nothing else makes sense. I mean, we could play on the bottom of the board or something, but giving the entire top to our opponent with a single stone, not a good idea. Gotta defend our cut points. Speaking of which, can do follow-ups. And White says that's good enough for now. Alright, so we have a little bit of Aji here. We have some interesting Aji on the board right now. We've got 2 stones for White, top of the board, L15, that are clearly able to be attacked. We've got a cut point for Black, P13, not as interesting. I mean, that's just 1 stone. But the 2 stones at L15, sorry, are very, very interesting. So what is Black going to do? Is Black going to go all in on the acquisition of those 2 stones? Is KGS going to unlag for me and show the point that I'm trying to click? Did my internet cut out? Alright, seriously, what's going on? Am I here? Yes, I am here. Okay. We are still live on Twitch. Alright, there's KGS again. Thank you, KGS. Sorry about that. Lagged on KGS for a minute. Yep, I just started and stopped my recording on KGS as a result. Yeah. It should be fixed. Are we fixed, or are we still sounding like Donald Duck? Alright, good. Cool. Alright. So Black backs off. Oh, I did ask a question, didn't I? Just C7? Oh, good. Yeah. Not going to let the left-hand side fall to him, his opponent rather, as he goes all in on the 2 stones. They are both very aggressive. However, interesting move. White decides to start a bit of a fight here. Okay. So first question, let's ask ourselves, can we ladder this? Well, we can kind of see where it goes to, and the answer kind of says no. However, we can actually go one step beyond that, can't we? I mean, not only can we ask, can we ladder it? But let's assume the ladder did work for black. Would we really even want to? Because let's say it didn't. This is going to be... I don't know. I have no idea how to actually fix the board in which it does without it being one-sided. But let's say this worked. And white got to play somewhere here. Okay, yeah, bye-bye tree. Yep, bye-bye tree. See ya, tree. Whatever. We didn't like you anyway. And white got to play a free move, which meant black had to take. So then white gets another free move. Would that really be worth it? I don't think we'd want a ladder even if we could. Given how many free moves, it means that our opponent gets on the top of the board. So, that's a neat little exercise. Does a ladder work? No, it doesn't. Would we want it to work even if it did? No, we wouldn't. So, black goes back over here. White says gobble gobble. And black says good enough. It's like, alright, you can't cut me. I'm not behind enemy lines. Time to play on the top of the board again. Let's start attacking stuff. Okay. Interesting choice. You can also see this kind of ease in which black might be able to build a wall because of all of these low stones. All of these are potential forcing moves. So that's interesting too. We can eye black's follow-ups potentially, which is also one of the reasons why we can easily see next move. Not going to let black keep us low. I'm not going to let him connect up like that. That'd be so bad. That game would just instantly turn one-sided in black's favor. Would a move... I don't think so. Because you're not going to be able to actually connect to there, right? I mean, I guess you're thinking of something like this. But there's two problems with... No? Well, that's true, but you're not answering the other threat of those L15 stones. You're completely ignoring the fact that those are still weak, right? So then white can come back and say, well, you're not helping your stones, so what happens if I just start pincering you? I'm going to save my stones while attacking you, and I don't care where those 3 stones on the left-hand side connect up to. Instead, we see not that, but this, that. There we go. Instead, we see this. Black's defending himself. He's also saying L15 stones are rapidly falling behind enemy lines. So you can keep running away, but you have to do something because your stones are in trouble. Black says I jump out because the cap is insanely good. White says keep running because I like me some 5th line territory. Not something you often find you're giving it to your opponent, but okay. Okay, 5th line. Black follows up. Very, very basic. Whenever you have this 1-point jump, the 3-3 is a really great point tick for yourself. Do I want to kill the tree immediately and show you why? Or do we just let ourselves go with only the 1? no, we're not going to do it. White does jump out. But the danger inherent here in this position is if white keeps playing, then all of this gets poked for no good reason. And now it's kind of turning into this weird situation where these are the only stones that actually matter right now. And that all of these were almost next to useless. This group is suddenly just turning into this group that its only mission in life is to just not die right now, which is definitely bad. Don't want to be in that position. So white says, screw that, I'm going to keep attacking, and then I'm going to do something about that. Black says I run, white says I follow. And here's where interesting things start occurring, because right now it's pretty straightforward, don't really have any large exchanges taking place like I promised would be in this game. But we do have weak groups, and where there are weak groups, there's possibilities. So here's a question for you. Let's say you're black, and you wanted to start a conflict. How would you go about it? Because you don't want to just keep jumping out, right? This isn't the plan, I would hope. We don't actually want to play this way, do we? K3. That starts an interesting... that does start an interesting conflict. The conflict with such a move there would be... how am I going to be in this game for more than 3 more moves? D12. D12. Okay, pincer. Okay. I think the aim with the conflict is to help the B7 group. That would be very helpful. Yes, that would be very helpful if you helped the group that's in trouble right now. Because like I mentioned, we don't want to just keep running across the board. That's bad. We can understand that if we have to run across the board, then we're probably going to lose the game. Because our opponent just keeps getting stronger with every jump we make. We can see that white can keep following, and with this cut still on the board, there's just this no man's land here that we don't want to even think about. If we get capped, we're going to wind up having to run into this as black and be in such sad shape. Ooh. 2-space, pincer, nice poke cut. Indeed. And bad at go is apparently not as bad at go as he thinks, because he and the 1-down are in complete agreement. Counterattack the weak point. The only weak point is a 2-space extension, so we are going to go all in and fight this. This is our resolve. Alright. White plays the Hane, black plays the Hane. And now we have fun times. Because we've created many cut points, and by many I mean 3. So black says, I cut you. Also threatening a double Atari. Also threatening the capture of the 2 white stones. So white says, I need those stones. Those are important. Black's starting to make shape, giving more cut points to white that he cannot do anything about. No choice but to just keep getting more and more Aji to black as a result, because now we've got so much that we can do. And now we see the profit off of this. White now has 4 stones in the center that are also in trouble. We have no clear way to capture or, otherwise kill the G11 group. So I guess that means we have to Atari, right? Because this kind of deal doesn't work. Alright, so we extend. Getting followed. Gonna reduce. White says I kill that stone too. Black connects up and threatens. White takes. Black gets the Hane, so the attack is now on white stones. It is looking as if Black is slowly but surely getting the upper hand of this particular fight. I mean, it seems like he's standing to gain insanely on top of the board. It seems like he has, by some degree of magic here, is fixing his shape in the center as well. And he's got a weak group to attack. This seems to be going really, really wonderful for White. Or for Black, sorry. I never, ever will learn my colors. Alright, so White plays the Hane. Black cuts because he's making sure that this doesn't just, settle easily. He's not going to just back off and allow his opponent to make shape. Keep the pressure on. Ladder doesn't work. However, just because ladder doesn't work doesn't mean it's a bad thing. White says, I'm going to threaten to surround you. Now my ladder works. Black says, then I will turn, and now your ladder is ineffective. White points out that he's threatening to surround Black. Black doesn't care, so pokes out shape. Now we have reasons to care. And this is kind of what I meant. This is the first of many trades that are going to go back and forth as they try and live, as they try and play this game out. Many, many trades. Many, many trades. So alright. Let's defend this Incente. Took that. Let's come on out. White drops the hammer. Cuts off Black stones. So it looks like the left went for White, the top is going for Black. But let's see if it stays that way. Actually, before I even say anything else, how would you continue this as Black? Accepting that the left is going to die. What do you do now? Okay, I do not recommend kicking your opponent in the face. That is probably illegal in most tournaments. K3-ish. Gamma style! You are so close, man. You are so incredibly close. Black plays the attachment. You did say ish, that's true, that's true. He's going to do a very, very simple idea. Let's build up the bottom. I have the enclosure, why not? White plays Hane. Aji. Aji. More Aji. More Aji. More, more, more. Now, the white stones here, the black stones here, sorry, are actually dead. It's just a question of how many moves does it take to get those stones killed off. Because keep in mind, the middle stones for white aren't alive completely. So that's one thing that's kind of nice to look at. And black is clearly getting some strength here on the bottom. So between both of those, might be able to force white to capture the black stones, or might be able to build up the bottom by threatening the capture. I don't get how black's side of the order of this moves. Well, trying to go back and live here is definitely vital. Something that his opponent is not going to put up with. So he knows that every last one of these moves is Sante. He also knew he couldn't live as is. But alright. Tari, take. White says, I know you can't live, I'm connecting. White connects. Because he's using the Aji in the center right now. He doesn't want to keep him as co-threats. All of this is being taken advantage of right at this very moment. White has to respond. I'm finding myself... Oh, yeah, here we go. Black seeks to profit. Setting up the situation that we just mentioned. Quite a few moves are still needed to kill off the stones on the inside. One thing white does not want to see is black continuing to profit here. So have no opportunity to try to deal with the cut points. We just need to make certain that we're not going to get completely surrounded. Because if we get completely surrounded, even the stones on the right hand side are kind of suspect. So okay. White's preventing himself from being disconnected completely, which allows black to keep profiting. And then defending. So okay. He took the stones that were dead, and he managed to secure himself a little bit of bottom territory with them. That's pretty cool. At this point, if I were to ask you, who do you suspect wins this game? What would you say? Who's ahead here? Do we know? Is this even? Alright, you say... Oh, we're split. Some say black, some say white. Froglet says black wins. Gamma Style says white with Comey. When white live up top, he is ahead. Okay. I will point out this game is a 0.5er. Goes all the way to counting, and the difference is only 0.5. So, first thing white does is go back and deal with the corner, because this is so large. But black is not done fighting yet, so he attaches. For the reasons that we've already gone over. White plays the Hane. Black is being a pain. White has to be careful. Which allows black to go back and try to profit some more. Alright. Looks like we're getting some stuff done. Not quite sure how much. I mean, how is white going to respond with this? Is he gonna Tari over, Tari down? Atari over here instead. Reason being for there, as he is looking for Aji as well. He's slowly kind of sort of cutting off the stones in the center. So black has to be careful. So when white goes back and defends, suddenly we have Aji available to us. Black says, I don't care, I'm going to kill your 2 stones. White says, well, if you don't care about that, I'm going to go back and live. Black tries to fight the life. Unfortunately not able to with his liberty count. Since that's all nice and strong, white gets to extend, threatening to capture 2 stones. And now we have a choice on our hands. What do we do? Are we going to do anything? Because we see what white's trying to do here. If we extend this down, then are we able to do anything? Can we save that stone? Is this Sente? I mean, what happens when this tries to connect on up? Can we still kill off these 3? Mo boy! Why would you play elsewhere in this situation? Look how crazy this is. We've got the entire center being fought for. But you say Tanuki. It's almost as if you've seen this game before. Oh, you didn't? Okay. Alright, alright. Oh, you saw he won? That's it. Alright. Interesting. But yeah, it does play elsewhere. It goes into the corner. Which white completely disagrees with. White's like, well, I'm going to kill your stones now. Black connects. As we expected. But of course that means he gets to push through and have some fun before going back and saving his stones. If it makes you feel any better, I already spoiled the game because if you go to options rules, I already put the result there. So to be fair, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but the spoiler's actually been there from the beginning of the game. Alright, so black is going to reduce. You'll feel better now, Mo Boy, but you might feel better a little bit less when they kill you for spoiling the game. Alright, so here, yes, Lynch Mob does rule. Alright, so here we're poking around. Threatening to connect up, that's not going to work. Save stone. See, does that actually work anymore? No, because we have now connected ourselves. Okay. So we have no choice but to admire that those stones are dead. Because we can see that this doesn't really go where we want it to anymore. White gets to go back and connect. Black saves his territory. White plays the Hane. The jump out is actually something that you should probably pay attention to here. Because if you played the Hane and gave your opponent this stone right here, it means that this can actually be killed. The corner does. The fact that this is still open means if... Ooh, I almost screwed that one up. It means that if you try to kill him here, at least this is going to be Sente. So we can see that he already has the ability to make one eye in there. All he needs now is the other one. And we can find out where that's going to be with this. So that's really, really important, that H18 stone. Looking for the Yaji. Looking for some invasion points. Out of curiosity, where do you play against a 3-3 in this position? This is something that comes up quite a lot too. How do we respond to the 3-3? Because I know some of you are going to look at this and you guys are going to wind up letting someone live. Alright, first, who said Q3? Ooh, yes, we saw Q3. Okay, did anyone say R4? Yes, Ukasu said R4. Okay. Doesn't that leave the complicated variation behind, though? Playing the R4 one? Because it leaves you needing to throw in? Am I wrong about that one, Ukasus? Let's not do that. Did anyone say P2? Bad at Go. Congratulations. Yeah, if we play this, aren't we going into this variation? You want to play R4 because I gain a point on the side. Oh, so you're not going to fight this then? Or do you have a different variation in mind? Something like this. Yeah, this would make me really, really scared. I mean, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if maybe this stone was in place, so I knew this wasn't going anywhere. Without it, I get uncomfortable. Anyway, white plays P2 to kill. Kind of the same thing the other way. If we played this, then we're still running into that variation where we are now needing to kill people. Only I think this way is worse, because this Hane is absolutely disgusting. I mean, we have to back off here. Now they're the Atari. We have to keep that killed, then that connects up, and we have now failed. And we're going to resign the game now. Yes! Awesome. So that would be really bad. Ah, where's the actual game? There we go. That would explain my most recent... Oh no, Fishy, you used that? When I first learned that variation on how to kill a 3-3, I was playing it in like every single game. And I lost a lot of games too. But it was fun, so I don't regret it. I learned a lot from it too. Alright, so we'll see more about this later. For now, we're going back here, trying to just point out the fact that he can't take E19 ever. So these are lovely free moves. We're not going to see the Atari. Get to poke. Wait a minute. No, I killed the tree. Again. He connects here. He doesn't respond. Last a little while, yeah. A little while. But by the fact that he didn't respond to it means this gets to connect now. Very, very easily. Horrifyingly easily. Hey, I've gotten through the entire game without messing up the tree, I'll have you know. It has happened before. At least a couple of times. So that's a nice little reduction that White was able to play. At the expense of the one move. Black goes back and makes certain he's nice and alive. White says, I'm going to keep reducing you. Black says, mine. Well, Black says, Yeah, he's alive. White responds. Wait a minute, how'd I mess up now? Okay, I almost messed up. There we go. Connect. Again, the monkey jump, because those are nice and large. Here is something interesting, though. Black tries to do the normal variation that I'm sure everyone knows. White's going to push, and then black's going to block, and then white cuts, and black comes from behind, and takes, and all that stuff. But white tries to use that stone to live instead. So the question now is, can white actually live back here? Black says, I'm not going to allow you to do so. What do you think? Do we still try to live? Is it possible? Ukasu says, no, it is not possible. Same reasons why P2 worked last time, same reasons why it works now. However, on the bright side, we can still do this. And that is now most definitely something that has to be responded to. If we connect, if we can wind up connecting eventually, which we would love to do, then that has to be connected as well at 6. So only if we get a chance to do that. Whose move is it? White's. Aha, there we go. Using what I mentioned before in order to live. Very, very, very important. If you had played G19 as black earlier, you'd be totally dead now, and you'd feel sad. Instead, we are alive. Whoops, I killed a tree again. You know what? Screw the tree. The tree didn't do anything for us. It's the enemy. You're supposed to kill it as many times as possible. Alright, so black goes back and lives in the corner. White's continuing his reduction. But the fact that black is now completely cut off means we can force this, because he has no choice. Black continues reducing, because there's Mii here still to live. We've got S19, and we've got the push in the I at P19, so we're good. Poking all over the place. Getting in the reduction. In Sensei, of course. Black says, you are never capturing this stone. White says, you're never capturing this stone. White takes. Now it's no longer a good thing for us to allow white to take these 2 stones, right? Because we've already established that we'd have to play here. The only reason why we didn't do this earlier, of course, is because if the connection resulted in an instant resign, because that would be Atari. Now that it's not, can't let him connect, especially now we're in Endgame with the game so close, so we take the stones. Pushing through, pushing through, pushing through everywhere. So many points. Poking out every last one. Retakes. Black keeps his Sente up. I'm guessing that was a time Suji, because I don't think there's any other reason to play it, right? I guess white was probably counting at this point. I imagine that what that was for. Can't imagine any other reason. Dupe. Dupe. See, am I missing anything? I don't think so. Deny that eye. Go ahead and make the connection. Nothing really there. Or there. Or there. I think that's the end of the game at this point. Yeah. Just filling all them dame points. Alright, that one's confusing me for a minute. What? That actually works? Really? I wasn't even reading that out. I wasn't even threatening to read that out. So, we Atari there. It goes down. He turns. Doot. Oh, that is a thing. That would most definitely be a thing. Yeah, once that liberty was taken away. 15K memories? I guess you've lost games that way? Huh. Yeah, for those of you who can't read that out, if he hadn't protected here, and this was a white stone, oh god, I'm gonna kill the tree again. Wow, dead tree. I mean, where do you go? You can't Atari this way, right? Because that gets captured. But the other way also doesn't work. Because even though this only has 2 liberties right now, so we can't play things like this, we can play things like this. So those 2 liberties are actually more than enough. Huh. I almost missed that one. Alright, where was the actual game? There. Alright. And that's the last move. More dame, more dame. Dame. Okay, that's not dame. What the oh, because that has the same situation. Similar situation. Okay, yeah. That one I knew about. Right. Once all those are gone, then this would have turned into an Atari, and then an Atari, and then an Atari. That would be bad. Fill up all them dame points. All them dame points. And end of the game, white wins by 0.5. So I thought that was a neat little game. We had black trying to get a really large top, which has been nicely invaded by white. We saw white capture stones on the left at the result of black getting a very large area on the bottom because he couldn't do anything about that while he was having liberty shortages. And even though his stones were dead, he still kept getting value out of them. Right? Black did. By attacking this group. Even though his stones were dead, he was still able to find ways to profit off them. Almost enough. I mean, 0.5 game, still pretty close. Very valid tactic. And yet it's also a thing that most people who watch this game would never do. Because first of all, they would never try and think about sacrificing the group on the left-hand side. That's just something that wouldn't happen. Another thing that just wouldn't happen is allowing your opponent to at all even consider developing the area on top of the board that's currently under development. I mean, I'm sure most people right here, for example, would just totally freak out and try and bring their stone back to life and just find somewhere to just get rid of all that territory, because can't allow that to happen. It would die and we'd say we sacrificed it. Alright, that works too, I guess. So, a couple of really, really cool ideas here from both players. One, it's fine to let my group get killed. Two, it's fine to let my opponent get territory somewhere on the board. Two things that usually make us the most uncomfortable in any of our games. Because usually we're all about they don't get any territory and none of our groups are going to die. And when we say things like that, it might be in your best interest to review the games that I've played, or I've not played, I have reviewed against Legend 88 and At Night. That probably is very beneficial to you, because you do not want to adopt that style. Just saying. You can find that on my channel. I'm hoping everybody knows my channel at this point. If you don't, you're going to make me sad. And you don't want to make me sad. But just in case there's someone that doesn't know it. Thank you very much. Just in case someone doesn't know it. That is my YouTube channel. Where you can find the reviews that I've mentioned before. Legend 88 vs. At Night is a series I'm going to be doing this week and probably next week. I've been doing it kind of like as well as these lectures. It's not, either or. I've just been kind of reviewing them at night. Yeah, I do city builders as well. That's how the channel began. Can't give it up. My X-Don series. Oh my god, my X-Don series. My X-Don series. Okay. I guess I should tell you about my X-Don series, because I can't keep it quiet forever. Oh god. Okay, so one night, let's see, what was I doing? I was watching my friend stream something. I was in a call with a bunch of other people, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm in a mood for some Blitzco. So, not paying attention that I was not on my Blitz account, I decided to start blitzing the crap out of, it's a whole bunch of games. As a result, I lost a whole bunch of games, because I'm really bad at blitzing when I'm talking to half a dozen other people and watching someone else's stream. So I kind of took that account and I put it right through the floor. I've got to get it back up and then I'll continue the series. But once I realized what account I was on, I felt so stupid. It's like, oh my god, not only does this set me back, but everybody's gonna know I did this. IGS is something that I want to do, but that's like the one that no one ever comments on. I always check to see where I get my comments. It's always on the Tygem stuff. Very rarely it's on the World Baduk stuff, but I never get anybody commenting on the IGS game, so I'm assuming that no one's just interested in those. I mean, even my analytics show, no views on that thing. Which, just so you know, is something that we pay attention to. I'm reviewing my analytics constantly to see what people are interested in. Well, I feel that it does matter, because at this point, I have enough people subscribed to me that I want to give them what they want to see. You know? Oh. Well, it could be visual. Some people just don't like the IGS clients. Some people just don't like the sound the stones make. I mean, people have their preferences. And I'm already testing people's preferences about as far as they can go by uploading like a whole bunch of different stuff on my channel, by keeping it as a bit of a variety channel rather than dedicated just to Go, as I'm sure most people would prefer. So I want to push people only so far. If for some reason they don't like it, then alright, not gonna do it. People do it, yes, people have been enjoying the shorties, and I've been trying to come up with different ideas for them. I haven't recorded my next set of shorties yet, because I'm still thinking about different topics that I want to do, that I can actually keep short and not have to go on for like 30 minutes for things. Blitzgo is that's an interesting idea, Moboy. Oh, Hulkin, you don't know my shorties? Essentially, I've got about 10-minute videos where I cover a specific topic, go over just a few variations, general idea on what that topic is, for the people who don't have an hour to sit down and go through an entire lecture. Oh yeah, I want to do more tag game stuff. I keep throwing around the idea of actively trying to get like to at least 8 done. But I'm not sure if I actually have the time to do that. I have to cut stuff if I want to do that. It's something that I've been throwing around the back of my head for the past couple of months. Against bots? Okay, I'm not sure if I can upload games against bots without a lot of swearing involved. So I'm not sure if those games could make YouTube. I have really strong opinions on those bots. I don't know if I could remain calm while playing them. And if I'm not remaining calm while playing them, then more colorful language will be expressed. So I don't know. I could play a few and see how it goes, but I don't know. We'll see. You guys have given me some stuff to think about. I'll have to see what I do. But for the moment, I'll have this video uploaded on my YouTube within the next couple of days. You're more than welcome to donate to the lecture fund. I have not phased it out completely just yet. You're able to PayPal me at the address provided if you wish to do so. That makes it easier for you fellows watching on YouTube later, so you guys have also expressed interest in doing that. Well, there's the address if you feel like doing so. You're more than welcome to contribute to the fund. I do not mind in the slightest. So, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the game, and have a good week, everyone.